Hello and welcome to the Grianaig Creations Podcast channel. This is episode 77. My name is Kirsty and I am coming to you from Paisley in Scotland. Welcome back to anyone that is a regular viewer, or just welcome to a couple of new subscribers I've had recently. Just getting comfy. I don't have much in the way to show this week, or every 2 weeks, however long I take to record, because I have been working an awful lot on my commission blanket that I had shown you a little bit of progress on in the last episode. So it's hopefully considerably bigger than the last time you saw it, but because this blanket is taking up quite a portion of my time, I don't have much in the way of anything else to show. But we'll go through this, see how we get on, and also I'm just going to recover what I got at Perth and some other purchases I have had recently, because I realised that the audio quality in the last video was not particularly good when it came to me talking about the festival and showing off what I got. So it's just a bit of a recap from the last video and what little crafting I have this time around. So I seem to have a very itchy face recently. I only have one finished object and you can just see it on the arm of the chair, and I just had this really crazy notion to try and make like this mini sweater, because I had this idea that has not worked out the way I wanted it to. Don't know if I'll disclose that idea at any point or whether I will try again, but I made a little mini sweater in some scrap yarn and it's so stinking cute. And now, because my original idea didn't work, I am genuinely now thinking of doing like a mini sweater garland and hanging it in like our living room or something up on the wall, because it's just something a wee bit different. So this yarn is yarn that my friend Ines dyed a long time ago, but she doesn't do yarn dyeing anymore. And my mum originally got this yarn along with some mohair. We're talking probably about 8 years ago, before mohair really kind of became super popular again. And my mum, I think she was just going through that phase where she realised that most of the things she was knitting was with baby yarn, and so I inherited this really gorgeous orange yarn along with the mohair, and I made a hat with it that I don't really wear because I think I made it just a little bit too tight, and mohair on my head's just not pleasant. Like, I break out in a rash, it's not very nice. So I decided that to try this idea that I had, I would cast on this tiny little jumper, and I done it with 3mm needles, and it is just super cute and I love it. I think it's adorable, very simple. I'm also thinking that these could be great for like Christmas tags, and you could like put their initial on it. So if I made one for Scott, I'd put an S. If I made one for my mum, I'd put M for Moira. K for my best friend Kirsty, A for Aileen, that kind of thing. And I just think it would be really cute and something just a bit different as well. Like, they could keep it, they could put it as like a wee ornament on their shelf or something. So yeah, it's an idea that I've had on the back of an idea that didn't particularly work. So we'll see. We'll see if I can alter this from my original idea, and then you may see that at another time, you may not. But I just think it's so stinking adorable. Like, it's so tiny, and it took me a couple of hours one evening, and then I really needed to go to bed, and then I finished it off the next day. So it's so small, it's so tiny. That is my only finished object for this podcast. Okay, so we'll get the big thing out of the way, which is my commission blanket. And like I say, this hopefully has grown considerably since the last time you saw it. and I need to lay it down on the ground and measure it to see what size it is just now, because we have the person that has commissioned this has a specific size in mind. They want it to be I need to look back in my notes. It's either 2 meters by 1.5 or it's 2.5 meters by 2 meters. So, oh, excuse me, it is a sizable blanket, but at the moment it is quite big. So that's it at its widest, and then at its longest, so I can't even get it all on camera for you to see its full length. So I'll need to see what this is at just now, and then hopefully I can calculate how many more rows I need to do in order to get it to the size I need it to be. And then from there I could probably calculate roughly how many hours it's going to take me. Bear in mind, each row gets bigger and bigger. And the last time I timed it, which was several rows back now, it was taking me half an hour to do a round. So I think I'm probably looking at about 45 to 50 minutes per round now. So it's going to get to the point where I'm only going to really be able to do like 2 rounds a day, which is a shame because it really slows down my progress. But I made it very clear to the person that asked for this blanket that blankets take a considerable amount of time. Baby blankets are obviously quicker, but a blanket of this size, and then obviously I have ends to weave in. I don't know if you guys can see that very well. I only have them to here. I weave them in as I go because there's no way in hell I'm going to go back and weave in from this double white all the way up. Like, that's a good many rows that I'd have to go back and weave in all those ends. So I tend to do it as I go. So when I go back downstairs and sit in front of the TV, I'll weave in the ends that are here, then I'll do a good couple of rows, and then the next time I pick it up I'll weave in the ends and do a couple of rows. So that's kind of how I work this. But I really actually enjoy working on this blanket. I can work on it and chat away to people or watch something on the TV, be on a Zoom call, whatever. It's not something that I'm like, have to watch it, have to pay attention. Although, that being said, when my future mother-in-law was round yesterday, I was chatting away to her and I finished a row and I went to join the next yarn. And it wasn't until I was this like couple of stitches in, I was like, oh my god, I've joined the wrong colour. So I had to work back, untie my knots, and then put in the correct colour. So that was interesting. And I definitely went back and checked the colour order for the rest of that day. But yeah, progress is being made, but it's slow progress because it's big rounds. And I don't always want to work on it, if I'm honest. Like, I can't spend every hour of every day working on it because that would just drive a person insane. And yeah. Nothing else to say about that one. Okay, so I'm only going to show a little bit of this project because this is my design that I'm working on, and you're literally, all you're going to see is that. So it's not a triangle, but it's on the slope, it's on the bias. And that's all I'm going to show because I don't want to show off just yet. I did show it to my friend Ellen and I asked for her input and her opinion. She's like, oh, that's really interesting, thankfully. But last time I showed that off, I didn't show you the yarn. So this is Blue Moon Natural Shades, and it's in Mars 4-ply Deluxe, which is 60% superwash merino, 20% silk, and 20% yak. In the 100 grams you get 366 meters. I've already used a full skein and I only have that much left of my other skein. So I had 2 skeins in total for this. I've finished one completely, and this is what I've got left. I'm just hoping I'm going to have enough to finish it, and then from there I'm going to work on a couple of different versions. I want to do one in DK, I want to do one that's not garter stitch, maybe has like a wee lace motif or something, or one where it's 2 colours. So maybe do like garter stitch, lace panel, garter stitch, lace panel, garter stitch, lace panel. So if there's any dyers out there that watch this and they would like to work with me on that one, please let me know. But if not, I'm just using up stash, so that can always be difficult if the person that wants to make it has to select the yarn, like has to get the exact yarn that the designer has used. So I don't tend to ever do that, because when I pick a pattern and I want to knit, I don't normally ever pick the yarn that the designer used, but that's just myself. Like, I'm more than confident enough to wing it, or I'm more than comfortable to do my research for yarn substitution, but I know other people are not confident, and that's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like when you design, you have to use a yarn that is in circulation currently. Whereas I'm not doing that. This yarn, I'm sure my mum bought. I'm trying to think where she would have bought it. This could have been one of the very first Perth Festival of Yarns, or maybe she bought it online. I wanted to say it's definitely a festival. So if it was the very first Perth Festival of Yarn, that was a good couple of years ago now, so the yarn may not be in circulation. I haven't checked. I'm just trying to get the design out of my head and into knitting. So we'll see. But yeah, if anyone wants to work with me on that one, let me know. But yeah, I just wanted to show you off the yarn, because I forgot to pick up the tag last time I recorded. My other work in progress, I started for the journey through to Perth, because I do love having some car knitting. It's something to just keep me busy, because I'm very, very prone to travel sickness. And on the morning of Perth, I was hunting high and low for my travel sickness tablets, and then I had this vague memory in the back of my head that one of the last times I went out with my mum and dad, where they picked me up from the flat, I used my last travel sickness tablet, and I just had forgot that I needed to phone in a repeat prescription with the doctor. So lo and behold, I remembered this as I was looking for them, and I wear travel bands, like the bands that you put around your pressure point, and thankfully they worked the way I needed them to get me through to Perth, and I have since put a prescription with my doctor. But yet these were the socks I started for Perth, and I was working on them in the car on the way there and then on the way back, and it just happens that the colour I picked is similar but a little bit bluer than the Perth blue, and I just thought that was really, really fitting. So I'm just making wee shorties for myself, and I am using Drops Fable. It's Drops Fable print, and that is 75% wool, 25% polyamide. It is a 50 gram ball, and in that 50 grams you get 205 metres. This one is colour 162 with dye lot 33612. This was gifted to me by my friend Jen. Hi Jen! I have 2 balls of this, and I've also paired it with a random grey yarn that my mum recently just got for me. And I will do a contrasting toe, but I didn't bother to do a contrasting heel. So we'll see how these turn out. I'm hoping I will have enough yarn afterwards to make a second pair for probably my mum. I think she'd appreciate this colour, but it would be longer unless, well, I might ask her if she wants shorties for next summer, but I'm hoping to get a second pair because I have quite big feet, so I might need to nip into the second ball because I didn't do a contrasting heel, so that's my own fault. So we'll see. I might not have enough yarn. I might. If not, I can always make them for Kirsty because she's got smaller feet than my mum. We'll see. I just like knitting, and whether it's for myself or someone else. And that has been kept in one of my new bags. I got this from Needle and Thread at Perth Festival of Yarn this year, which was at the Station Hotel in Perth, and I absolutely adore this bag and this print. I think it's just adorable because it's cats and mouses, or cats and mices. And then one of the other things that I got, which is in the wee Notions pouch, is one of the Crafters Bams by The Lonely Knitter, or is it Bumbling Yarns? Sorry Laura, I should know that. Oh, she knows. But yep, I got this in the lemon scent, and I gave the lavender to my mum. Whoa, drop the sock. So I recently bought some fibre from Spin Jones. You all know I love my Spin Jones. And I saw the listing on Instagram. I really should be banned from Instagram sometimes. And she had dyed, sorry, I shouldn't assume, they had dyed up only 30-gram minis? Fluff bumps? I don't know what we call these. And they are literally this size, and you could get them in merino nylon or BFL nylon, and they all are 30 grams or 1 ounce. And the way the listing, or the way the Instagram post was, which I'm a sucker for by the way if you try and sell it like this, is that you could mix and match and make a self-striping fibre, or spin a self-striping yarn. So I had a good nosy, and I picked in total 7 ounces of yarn, and I got them 2 weekends ago, and my brain just went into overdrive. Oh, hiccups. My brain just went into overdrive, and it just wanted to spin. It just wanted to spin everything, and it had to do it right there, right then. So I got the fibre in, and then that night I prepped it. So by prepping I mean I unbraided it, because it's in a wee braid, and then I split it in half, split my half in half, and then I'm not going to do it because I'm not ready to spin these ones yet, but if you have seen any of my other videos for Tour de Fleece, you'll see how I sometimes prep my fibre. And so I prepped 5 of the 7 because 5 of them were BFL nylon, and I could mix the merino. I've got no problem mixing fibres, but my colours, all my BFL nylon were suited to being in one yarn, whereas these 2 are my merino nylon, and they just didn't really fit in. Also, like, I already had that one technically in the BFL because like they're my favourite colours. And I spun and I spun and I spun. So we've got grey, we've got pink, we've got chartreuse, we've got a very similar one in these colours, and then we've got one that has more of a rust and a teal. So 5 colours in total has gone into this, and I spun them all in the exact same order. So it started with the chartreuse, and then it went to the one with the rust and the teal, and then it went pink, and then it went into this one, and then it went to the grey, and then I would go back to the chartreuse and work my way through and constantly just do a cycle of these fibres, or these colours, sorry. So this is all a single just now, so this is 5 ounces, and I think I've spun it fairly consistently. I hope I have. And what I plan to do now is I plan to chain ply this so it'll become a 3-ply yarn when I'm done, and I'm hoping that it will stripe up really, really well. I feel that my stripes might be a bit thick and therefore maybe not look fantastic in socks, but we will see how it looks once I have plied it and then once I've got it in the niddy noddy. And then I might see, like, knit up a wee swatch or something to see like how big my stripes are, because I could put it into something else. I don't have to make it into socks. I could make it into a hat, I could put it in a shawl or something for around the neck, a cowl, but the idea is hopefully socks. So I feel that even though when I was spinning it my stripes were quite thick, but then I have to remember that I'm going to be chain plying it, so that's seriously going to cut down what I thought was quite a lot of fibre. So we'll see. Not sure when I'm going to ply this up because I really need to focus on the blanket, unfortunately. I'm thankful for the commission and it is a good blanket, but I feel like I have to work on that and I can't really work on other projects because that has a time limit on it. The baby is due in November if I remember correctly, and I would like to have it ready for them. And also my friend that commissioned it has just started a new job where he's going to be a HGV driver, and I just don't know where he's going to be in the country when it's finished. So I feel like there's a lot of elements that are causing me a little bit of anxiety when it comes to that blanket. So not sure when I will get this plied up, but I hope it will be soon because I really think it's going to be a really fun yarn. I think it's also going to be a really crazy yarn, and it is not going to be for everybody because of the colours. And that's okay. If you don't like them, you don't need to. These are my colours. So yeah. That was the other two I got. These are my merino nylon. Not really sure what I'm going to do with them. I don't really think they go too well together because this one's really kind of bright and punchy, whereas this one seems a bit muddy. Like, I knew that when I bought it. Like, I still think it's lovely. I just don't think they go together. So we'll see. I might be able to put them in with another fibre. I might not. I might just make some mini skeins of fibre. So we'll see. Okay, so now we're on to let's talk about Perth, because the audio in the last one was god awful. Apologies for that. I was recording on my GoPro and the audio is much better when you are behind the camera instead of in front of the camera, which is really annoying. So let us go through some of my purchases. But first, I would like to show off a couple of purchases I bought before Perth. I had to think about that there, which is crazy. Although I'm gonna hide these because technically they're not any purchases recently. Okay, so I have a couple. Okay, I can only show off the yarn, and then I'll have to pause it and move the chair because it turns out I forgot to pick up the fibre. I was storing it all in the cupboard behind this chair, which is really annoying because the chair is not light to move. Okay, so the first one I bought, I've just realised the tag has come off, but this is by Jenscraftycharms. I want to make sure I've got that correct. Let me just check my Instagram. Yep, Jenscraftycharms. That's all one word on Instagram. Jenscraftycharms. And this is Toil and Trouble. And this is the colourway. This is her Halloween colourway. And I saw it on her Etsy and there was only one of it and I snapped it up. She is now doing a pre-order for this, so please do check out her Etsy. She also does some beaded stitch markers and other dyed yarn, so check her out. Her stuff is really, really nice. She also has some of the neatest handwriting I've ever seen, by the way. Random, but if you ever get a wee written note in your order, you'll see what I mean. So this is Toil and Trouble. This is one of our Halloween colourways, and I just had to have it the minute I saw it. I just was like, these are my colours. I need it. I want it. I'm having it. Essentially. And then one of my other purchases, trying to think if you saw the last lot of stuff I bought from Marcus, which is Fiberpunk, and I'm sure I showed those off. If I haven't, let me know and I can show them off on the next one. But Marcus was still having his sale over on Etsy, and I had eyed these up when I made my first purchase, and I was just like, I really, really want them, but I really should kind of limit what I'm spending so that I can save for Perth. And then he posted that the sale was continuing. I had a look, they were still there, and I got them. So I'm trying to get these that the light is really kind of showing off these colours, because I feel like my camera is just not doing a very good job right now. So there's purple and blue, pinky purple, blue and grey with a smidge of black. And these are squid ink. It's on the Super Sock, which is 75% non-museling superwash merino, 25% nylon, and 400 meters. And I got 2 of them, and I plan on making a top. I plan on making another Mount Pleasant tee. But I don't know, because that's what I said 2 of the self-striping were going to be. So I can't have like, well, I know I could have 3 Mount Pleasant tees, but I would like to try other patterns. So that is my squid ink by Fiberpunk. And because Marcus is an absolute gem and a proper sweetheart, I love Marcus to pieces. My heart was so happy. So what happened was I purchased these, and then Marcus kindly sent me a message to say that because we were both going to Perth, he could refund me my shipping and then give me my order at Perth. And I was kind of on the fence about this for no other reason than I really didn't know how my anxiety was going to be at Perth, so I couldn't guarantee I wouldn't leave early. In which case, he may have refunded the money to then only have to ship it. So I said, no, please just ship it. My anxiety I don't know how I'm going to handle Saturday, so can't guarantee I'm going to be there when you are, because I was going in the morning, he had the afternoon. So that was fine. He said, that's absolutely fine, no bother at all, I'll ship it out. Fast forward to Perth, and Scott and I are leaving, and I can hear someone shouting my name. And I turn around, and there he is. Marcus is just walking through the parking lot, coming towards us, and then he hands me my bag of yarn. And because I was on a bit of a Perth high and I wanted to record the video for Perth, I didn't open my package until the following day. And that's when I realised that he had popped this in the bag for me. And this is Pop, which is a super striper. And anybody that knows me knows how much I love Marcus's self-striping yarn. Like, you've seen my collection that I then added to. my camera cut out. So you already know how much of Marcus's yarn I have. You've seen my collection. I have also added to that fairly recently for the self-striping. And then he goes and sends me this beautiful skein of yarn that's all my colours. It's got neons, it's got purples. It just made me so happy. Scott was in the room when I opened up the packaging and he was just freaked out by how happy I was. He was just like, it's just yarn. And I'm just like, no, it's the thought, it's the generosity, and it's the fact it's one of his self-striping. So I'll try and give you a close-up of it. So there's neon yellow, neon pink, neon green. Well, when I say neon yellow, it's more neon green, sorry. There's purple, there's blue, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. So he said that he forgot to put a note in it to explain kind of like what was happening with this. And apparently this is one of his seconds. Not that I would know any different, but apparently like 2 of the stripes, one's longer than it should be and one's shorter than it should be. I don't care. I love it. I can't wait to knit this up, and of course it's going to be socks. And I swear, like, I think I squealed like a schoolgirl when I opened this. I just think it's very, very generous of him. This is not the first time he's done this for me, and I just love Marcus to pieces. So, hoping to meet up with Marcus round about Halloween for a drink in Glasgow, hopefully. So I can maybe give him a big squish, because I didn't hug anyone at Perth. I done the whole elbow thing because I just wasn't comfortable. But hopefully maybe I can get back to giving hugs to people, because I just want to give Marcus a big squish. But yeah, I love him. He's brilliant. Check him out. He might still have some stuff in his Etsy. If not, bear with him, because he is trying to get his dye shed up and running, and then he's going to be getting back to work, and you're going to have to beat me to get in his yarn, because I'm just collecting his yarn apparently. But yeah, this is Pop, so keep an eye out for this hitting his shop. And you know, when he starts posting like that he's got yarn ready, I will let you guys know. Okay, so Perth Festival of Yarn this year was really good. It was not what it usually is, which is, it wasn't at the Jewelry Centre. It wasn't that you bought a ticket and you were there all day. I was very hesitant, not because that I didn't think they would be COVID safe, but just because of my anxiety. I feel like I have lost all social skills with this pandemic, and I knew people were going to be there that I would want to talk to, and I also knew people would be there that know me, but I don't know them, i.e. you lovely lot that watch the podcast. And I feared that my seriously diminished social skills would come and bite me on the arse. And I was panicking about that. I was panicking about being around people. I got in my head, I freaked myself out, and I ended up having a fantastic time. Absolutely fantastic time. And I wish I had bought an afternoon ticket as well, so that I could go back and chat more with some of the vendors that I have not seen in 2 years. So Scott and I had a plan. I had a plan to be out the door at 8:30 because we needed to get petrol, we needed to check the tyre pressure, and I just wanted to be on the road so that I could be getting in the door at 10 o'clock and have the most time that I could, or that I needed, to go around, do some shopping and talk to people. I don't think we left until 9:15. Because everything that could get in my way got in my way. So then when we left at 9:15, we still had to go get petrol, we still had to go check the tyre pressure. And then we had to hit the road, and of course there was traffic works. Of course there was. So we eventually got there, and it was about 11 o'clock by the time we got parked and got into the venue. So I'd already lost an hour. And then I feel bad when I take Scott to these sort of events because it's not his thing at all. He just loves that I'm happy at these events, and he knows some of the people. Like, he knows and can talk to Ellen, he knows and can talk to John, he knows and he can talk to Eva. Some of the other vendors, not so pally with, or he doesn't know them, he hasn't met them, but he got on really well with them. So the likes of Laura, the Lonely Knitter, you may watch her podcast, they got on like a house on fire because we were all talking about D&D. We don't play, but we want to try. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, coming months, Scott and I can give that a wee try. So we were talking to them about D&D, and they were giving us, by they I'm talking Laura, their DM, and a couple of others, and just giving us advice, just telling us what we needed to hear really, which is just, just go for it, jump in, have fun. So there was other people there that he did get to chat to and seemed to enjoy himself, but it just wasn't his thing. Yarn is not his thing at all. So I always feel bad when I take Scott to these events because I'm just like, you're going to be so bored. I'm going to want to feel like I have to rush to get him out of there as soon as possible. But we were there until about 2 o'clock, and I'll explain because it was shut between 1 and 2. So I'm not picking these up in any particular order whatsoever. I'm just picking up whatever comes first to hand. So I got, oh wow, that's blowing out on my camera, so it's probably going to blow out on your screen as well. But I got these 2 giant skeins of neon pink yarn from Woo Sheeps. These are Woo Sheeps Big Dick, which is 100% superwash BFL wool, 150 grams, which is approximately 600 meters, and these are in the, in capital letters with an exclamation mark, pink colorway. And I was talking to Sheila, and I had one in my hand, and she's like, well, what would you do with it? And I was like, I really, really want a bright pink sweater. And she's like, well, you're going to need 2. And I was like, yeah, but I also want to make a particular sweater where I only need it, I probably don't even need 50 grams, never mind 150 grams. And she's like, well, then you only need 1, obviously. So I was humming and hawing, and I eventually got the 2 because I would love a bright pink sweater. So I need to find a pattern. But I got 2 neon pink, massive skeins of yarn, and it is blowing it out. Like, it's just not showing the true pink, just like it's not showing the true colour. Well, no, on my screen that's quite true for this sweater. And then I got from Laura of the Lonely Knitter, or Bumbling Yarns, I got this beautiful self-striping. This is Witch's Brew self-striping, and it is 75% superwash, merino, 25% nylon, and it's 425 meters, which is very generous for yarn. I then got, oh, one of them's come undone. Let's see if I can skein this out real quick. I got these from Mrs. Lamb's Yarns, or Callock Sheck Ellen. They're both on her Wa sock, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. This one is 425 meters. This one is 225. This one is on her Sunshine base, and I think this just looks like summer. It looks like tulips and sunflowers, and it's just really beautiful. It's quite a delicate colourway, which might be a bit weird for me. I'm normally brights and in your face and neons, but this is really, really beautiful. So I might actually make something out of this for my mum. I think she'd really appreciate this colour knit up. So yeah, that is the Sunshine colourway. And then I got Sweet and Sour on the 50 gram. And I have an idea for this that sort of ties in with the neon pink. So it really kind of, I have to decide what I'm going to use. So I want to make the Arachnia sweater, the one with the cobweb on the yoke. And my thinking is either this as the web, the bright pink is the web, or I have a serious neon chartreusey green that I dyed up that would be the web. So I need to see, because I have a black sparkle, so a black stellina yarn from Lovebugs Yarns for the main colour, so I need to see what really would work best with that. So I got that one. I could have got an orange that was pretty much a solid orange, but I really liked really liked the fact that this was tonal. I had the one that was almost a solid in my hand, and I ended up putting it back for this one because I just liked the tonal colours a wee bit better. Excuse me. I got this beauty. This is a DK from Amo Yarns. This is Centre of the Earth, and it's 75% merino, 25% nylon, 225 meters. And I reckon I'm probably going to make a hat with this. That's what I bought it with the intention of knitting with it, and I think I'm gonna stick with that idea. From Yarn Unique, I got a sock blank and a self-striping. And they're pretty similar colours, to be perfectly honest. So this one is, it doesn't have a colourway, but this is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 425 meters, as is this one. But this is your self-striping, and this is the sock blank. But there's pretty much exactly the same colours in both of these. But you know what, I love a good self-striping, and I love a good sock blank, so win-win. 3 more yarns to go. I, of course, had to swing by the lovely Helen of Giddy Yarns, and I got her Chaotic Cauldron colourway. And that is another self-striping. So you've got green, you've got orange, you've got yellow, you've got purple, and you have grey. And they're just really, really beautiful. So the grey is a bit thicker. My understanding is the grey is a thicker stripe than the other colours. And that, it looked really good knit up. She had swatches, and you can also see it on her Instagram as well. And this is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 425 meters. So I got that one. And then I had to get this one. This is Fable yarns, and it is another self-striping yarn. This is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 425 meters, and it is Party City. And if you heard in the audio for the Perth clip, I talked about the fact that this is actually very similar to a colourway that I already have, and I have knit up. And I, now that I'm trying to talk about it, can't remember who the dyer is. I had it, it was in my head, and now it's all gone. Either that, or I checked my Instagram and I looked back and I was just like, that's the yarn, those are the socks. So of course I'm now going back through my Instagram very slowly, because that's what Instagram does, trying to find the yarn. And it's a yarn that my friend Aileen and I both had We're both knitting the socks up at pretty much the same time. She was knitting hers in London, I was knitting mine in Scotland, and of course now that I'm trying to do this and the camera is going, I can't find it. Ah, here we go. Dum dum dum. Oh, where is it? All wool that ends wool. Oh no, that's not right. Yeah, it is. All wool that ends wool, hand dyed. That's what they are on Instagram. And that's what the socks look like. So the yarn could be very similar, but I don't care. I don't care. Those socks have really faded because I wear them that much and I wash them after every wear. And I put them in the washing machine. I don't hand wash. I should, I don't. So we will see how these turn out, and I will probably compare the two to see. But I just had to have these because they're just so cute. And this was the last one in the container, and I was just like, I'm having it. No second thoughts. No nothing. No hesitation. Picked it up. Purchased it. And then my last yarn is this lovely sock set Yarn Dare from Noodle Soup Yarns. And if you heard the audio from Perth, you'll have heard me say that at one point I ended up kind of like phasing out because it was only as I was stood at their stall and I was looking at this setup with the band, the two skeins, the fact they're called Yarn Dares, I was kind of like, I've bought from Noodle Soup Yarns before. I have Noodle Soup yarn. I have Yarn Dares, but I don't know where they are. And I ended up completely phasing out. And the dyer, the person that was working the stall, must have thought I was insane because I ended up just not speaking, staring off into space. Because in my head, I was hunting all my belongings to see where this yarn could be. And then fast forward from Perth, but rewind from when I'm recording. My mum, so Monday, this is Thursday, my mum was at the flat on Monday because I was so sure that I had a ball of yarn that she was running low on. And so when she dropped me home, no, that's not right, I drove myself. We all drove up to here. I had my car, she had hers, my dad was in the car too. She came in and we were hunting for this yarn that she was running low on. And I was like, right, I've got yarn in a suitcase under the bed, I'll pull it out. And that's where I found the Noodle Soup yarns. So that bag of yarn is now in this closet because if I keep it in the suitcase, hiccup. If I keep it in the suitcase, I'm going to do what I done this time around, which is forget I have it. So I have located the Noodle Soup yarns and I am happy to announce that I am not crazy. I did not phase out for no apparent reason and made this all up in my head. I have her yarn and yeah. So this is the one I got at Perth and I think it's really, really nice. I'm really curious to see how this knits up. I don't think it's a self-striper. I'm really not sure. It is 75% superwash mirror, 25% nylon, 425 meters, and basically each of these are 50 grams and they should create identical socks. I don't care about identical socks. I don't have to have matchy socks at all, but sometimes it's just nice, especially if you're knitting them for other people, because other people could have that quirk. I don't know what to call it. Or maybe I'm the one with the quirk and I don't care about matching socks. I don't know. But some people need their socks to be matching. I'm not that person. I don't care. I could wear odd socks. I've regularly worn odd socks. So if I made these for other people, that's kind of a good thing that I have something that I can not work hard and it will be matchy, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's the last yarn that I got. To be honest, my energy levels are crashing. It is getting up to dinner time. I am sort of losing the light outside. It's also getting up to the time where the after school stuff that happens in the hall across from our flat gets out. They get out on the hour, they go in on the hour. The street's going to get really, really noisy any second now, so I'm probably not going to show off the fibre because I can't be bothered pulling the chair out, even though I have to put that back, but I can put that back another day. All of my yarn was in this container, which was in that cupboard. So I'm going to call it a day here. You can find all the links to all the places you can find me on the internet. It's mostly just my Instagram, to be fair, and the Facebook group. I do have a phone that's now on the floor. I do have a giveaway going over on my Perth Festival of Yarn video. That is the only place you can enter. If you don't follow the prompt, I'm not including you in the giveaway, so please watch what you put in your comment. But the giveaway is for a skein of Caithness Croft yarn and a needle gauge. I almost said needle minder, but that's a completely different thing. So please jump over there and follow the prompt, which is let me know what your favourite yarn festival is, fibre festival, crafting festival, or let me know what your favourite thing about a festival is. Is it spending the money and buying yourself new things, or is it seeing people, seeing your friends, seeing the vendors that you know? Is it travelling to new places? Like, what is your favourite part of a yarn, fibre, crafting festival? So those are the prompts. I only need you to answer one of them, but if you don't follow the prompts, I'm not including you in the giveaway. Hate to say it, but I'm going to be that person. It's my giveaway, it's my channel, my rules. But yep, I'm probably going to go now. I'm going to get my jammies, let's be fair, let's be honest. I'm going to put something on, something nice on for dinner. I'm going to finish my fresh orange and lemonade. There's a fly in my cup. I don't know what I'm going to put on the TV. I've got the flat to myself for probably about another hour before Scott comes home. So I'm probably going to put something that I like on the TV. But yeah, that's me. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you're all staying safe. And I'll see you next time. Bye! I forgot to mention that the Grianaig Creations Halloween Sock Along is happening again this year, and I'm very happy to announce that. I put a poll out on my Instagram and I also put something out on my Facebook page, and a lot more people came back saying yes than they did no. There's no need for some of the rude comments that I got regarding that. If you don't want to take part or it's not your thing, you don't need to. It's just a simple yes or no. I don't need the smart ass comments that some people left and sent me privately, but hey ho, that's apparently the world we live in now. But yep, it's very similar to what it was last year. We start on the 1st of October and we finish on the 31st, and either your yarn or your pattern should be Halloween themed, whether that's a colour work pattern for a Halloween theme or you have a Halloween themed yarn. So probably the exact same hashtag as last year, but we'll add 2021 on the end of it, or just 21. So that would be hashtag GC Halloween Sock Along 21, all one word, no spaces, no hyphens, no nothing. For that will be for on Instagram, and then for on Facebook, if you could just, I'll start a thread in the group every couple of days, or we can do like a live on Instagram and Facebook, whichever floats your boat. So yeah, let me know in the comments below if you want to take part in that. Again, please be nice, because I've had enough rude comments about this. But yeah, a lot more people were so on board, which makes me extremely happy. I won't be providing any prizes just because of the financial situation Scott and I are in just now, so I can't afford to be shipping gifts out. But if anyone wants to donate and anyone wants to, if they're happy if they win, to pay some shipping, then we can figure that all out. Leave a comment below. But yep, as it is, I have one giveaway going on at the moment that I will be paying for shipping for. I don't really need a second one, if I'm honest. Apologies, but at the same point, that good old saying that charity starts at home. I feel like that was more of a ramble than anyone needed. But yep, no prizes for this sock along. It's really just to take part and have fun, and hopefully have some discussions with people you maybe haven't had discussions with, or motivating other people to keep going, and whatever else takes your fancy. As long as everyone is courteous and everyone's polite and there's no rudeness, I don't mind. I just hope you come along and join me, because it was really good fun last year. I still have my Halloween socks. I'm going to pull out all my Halloween yarn, and I might do another video for that. I'm not sure which one I'm going to pick. I've got so many choices now. Like, I've even just right in front of me, I've got 3 choices. So I've got Chaotic Cauldron, I've got Toil and Trouble, and I've got Witch's Brew. So like, how am I going to pick? I'm probably going to have to like write them on a piece of paper and then pick them out of like a cup or something, or a bag. Name out of a hat, that kind of thing. And then I've got all the ones that I got last year as well. This is going to be tough trying to pick one. I love it. So yeah, I really hope you come join us for that. Keep an eye out on Instagram for a post about it, and keep an eye out on my Facebook for it. Please also remember, we are not using Ravelry for anything related to the podcast anymore. If you are posting in there, I am not checking it, so apologies, but I have made my stance on Ravelry very clear. So yeah, I'm done now, I promise. No more extras. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you then. I am tripping up my words all over the place today. Bye!